We're going to start with a standing warm-up, and we'll work through all the joints in the body to get them oiled, just sharing this right screen to get the music going. Alrighty, so we've got a nice piano vibe this morning. Nice and chilled. I can hear the birds tweeting above the cabin. Can you guys hear the music? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, great. Okay, so we're going to start with some mobilizations for around our neck and shoulders. So if you can look over your shoulder and just notice where does it get to that sort of resistant point, and then release. And the other way, so just noticing what can you see behind you, where do you get to the resistant point, and release. And do that again. And just notice if you can see a little bit further round behind you. And the other way, looking behind, open up the vision behind. And can you go a bit further on this one without turning your upper body, just your head. And one more time. Notice how when you really twist, it kind of pulls on your belly a little bit. And release. We're going to roll the shoulders up to the ears and then press down. So up, squeeze and down. And now as you're doing that, I'd like you to do a little tightrope walk. So you're going to place one foot in front of the other like that. So like you're walking down a tightrope, and then reversing back the opposite way. Now if you want to, you can try that on your tiptoes. So it's more of a test of balance. So just give it another go. See if you can come right up onto your tiptoes to warm up through your feet. And then reversing, stepping one directly behind the other. Wobbling optional, of course. Alrighty, and then circling the wrists and the ankles. Certainly know as I'm ramping up my steps, I can definitely feel in need of some ankle mobilization more regularly. So back the opposite way. And let's do that on the other side. So straight arms, straight leg as you do it, and just try to turn the hand and the foot. And let's do that in the opposite direction. Nice big circle. Okay, and then some mobilization for our hips. Can you take your arms wide, bring your knee up to the side and round. And again, up, side and round. A bit of creaking going on this side of the screen. And can you make it bigger? And then turn it into a straight leg circle. So sweep through, tends to challenge the balance a bit more. And one more. And release. Okay, great. So knee up on the other side, out to the side and round. Oh, this one equally as clicky this morning. Gradually making the circle bigger. And then straight leg circle. Sweep forward and round. Can you keep your upper body quite steady as you do it? And one more time. Okay, and then from there, can you take your feet wider? Just bring the camera up a little bit. Okay, so we'll go a bit wider with our feet, turning out the toes, and then bending the knee, pushing the bottom back. Now let's switch to the other side. And do it again. Now, as you come up and down, I'd like you to rotate your shoulder and stay there now, looking behind you up to the ceiling. And then coming up, bend the knee, turn the shoulder, look to the ceiling. Breathe. And lift up and drop and hold. Turn, look up to the ceiling. And do it again. Think of one shoulder going towards the floor, one shoulder going to the ceiling. Let's do that one more time each way. Breathe. And final one. Okay, good job. So walking back in with our feet. Let's do some mobilization to loosen the back. So if you can join me down on all fours next, you can do it standing if needed. We'll pop a cushion under your knees if your knees are happier like that. So we're going to round, tucking the bottom under, and then arch, look up, breathing in. So exhaling and rounding, squeezing the belly button and holding, and then releasing. As you do that, can you squeeze and hold your pelvic floor? 2, 3, and then release. Adding in an arm, so we're going to arch and look up, and a leg and tuck, knee to elbow like this, and then reach, 2, 3, and then elbow to knee. Breathing in as you reach, and breathing out as you round. Inhale, reaching, exhale, rounding. Can we do 2 more on this side? Think of pushing the ground away with a hand that's on the floor. And let's swap over to the other side. So opposite arm and leg. Oh, here comes Pepper. It's all that talk of the dog. So reaching out, breathing in, breathing out. Get Pepper to demonstrate the downward dog next. And last one, hooking your toes underneath. You can lift your bottom in the air into the downward dog. Oh no, Pepper's not keen on this one. So if you can press your heels down, push your heels out. And notice how the calves are feeling today. Deep breath. Yeah, my calves are saying, I know you're doing a steps challenge. We're going to bend the knees and we're going to flex like this into the toes. So we'll bend the knees, hover them just above the floor, flexing the toes, and then straightening the legs again and pressing the heels down. Deep breath. Alrighty, let's walk our feet towards our hands and coming down onto our back. For some core work, pulling in from the belly button. We're going to take the opposite arm and leg away to touch down. First level. For our second level today, if you can get your knee up above your hip, or for your third level, more advanced option, notice my feet start above my hip bones. Can you point your toes? And then flex when you're in. So we point as we go out and flex when we're in. Working the feet, let's get the joints moving and oiled. And can you do 1 more on each side? Breathe. So final one. And then from here, we're going to bend the knees. Mobilize the hips by opening the knees around, out, and back in. And do it again. Out, and snap them back in. Really sort of give in to gravity as they fall open. And then if you can, reverse back in the opposite direction. And 2 more. Great for getting the blood flow around the hip and oiling the hip joint. Okay, so from here, we're going to come up to a seated position, placing your feet on the floor. If it's challenging to roll up and down without support, grab a band and pop the band under your feet. Or for level 2, we're going to roll down, hands free, tapping the back of the head on the ground, curling and lifting. Now the head can make a real difference on this one. So chin in, eye gaze towards the ceiling, on the way up and on the way down. Look forward in between when you're in the seated position, but then try to keep your head back. So think of leading the movement from your chest rather than your head. Breathing out as you lift, in as you lower. Now, as we advance through the levels on this one, we bring the arms back by the ears. See if you can get a smooth move. Common to kind of jerk through a certain point where the muscle can be a little weaker. I know certainly after baby Bertie was born, these muscles are really, really weak for me, and it took some time to Just remove that kind of jerky spot. Breathing out on the lift and in on the lower. Now, can you do 2 more? Eye gaze up to the ceiling as you move. So final one. And then from here, we're going to take a back stretch. So if you can bring your knee towards your chest, straighten out through the bottom leg, and we'll bring the knee across, foot to feel for the floor, press your knee down and leave your arm just trailing behind. We're going to look towards our back hand. Keep applying pressure through the knee and the shoulder. Deep breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Do it again. Exhale for a little bit longer. Then you breathe in one more time. So good to get that depth of breath, just to open the muscles around the rib cage and into the belly. Let's do the other side. So knee up, across, feeling for the floor with the foot. That's it, using the hand just to press the knee down, turning to look towards the back arm, pressing that back shoulder down, and deep breath again. And one more time. Alrighty, let's roll to the center, and if you can use that knee, hook underneath it, just to rock yourself up to a seated position. We're going to go wide with our feet now, come up to a seated posture. Now, if you need a wedge, a cushion, a block, something just to park underneath you to get your back into a more upright pose, then now's a good time to grab one. We're going to flex our feet. Notice when I'm flexing, these muscles here are kicking in so much that it's actually lifting my heels off the floor. So work at the pull here, almost like you've got a big pair of tights on. Oh, it seems I have. And you're just kind of really pulling those tights into your legs kind of thing as you do. Okay, so we're going to point the toes when we're upright, and then we're going to flex the feet. Can we get hold of it? Or the shin is fine. And then bring this arm over by the ear. So pointy toes when we're here. Really pull those tights and then flex as we get hold of something on that leg. And release, point. And we're going to lean over for about 3 seconds. 2, 1, and then upright. Pointy, and then flex. Lean, 2, 3. Pointy. Great. Now, can you go a bit further? See if you can bring your ear down towards your knee. And we're going to do that 4 more times. So you can go just a little bit lower, holding in the uncomfortable zone. And 1 more each way. And last one. Alrighty, let's release. And give the legs a shake. We're going to give our hips a stretch. Now's a good time if you need a drink. So if you can come up to standing, have a drink, and then feet nice and wide in a lunge position when you're ready. I'm just going to put the screen across because I've realised how sunny it is. So it will just help you see me better on screen if I block that beautiful sunlight out. Okay, so let's go into a lunge. So if you can turn your back foot so it's on your tiptoe and a big space between your feet there. So as we come down, have a look in your screen. Can you get this thigh parallel with the ground? Hold 3 seconds and then lift. Let's do it again, this time for 4 seconds. So coming down, you straighten your back knee. 4, 3, 2, 1. This time 5 seconds, and then we'll do 6. So coming down, straightening out the back leg. 4, 3, 2, 1. Straightening out, and one more time. Coming down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, can you bring your back leg into a standing balance? So we bring the knee up to hip height. Can you hold? And then straighten the leg out in front of you. And lower the leg down. Okay, good job. We're going to swap the arms. Can you stride the other leg backwards? So we're going to hold. Squared up in the hips. Breathe. And coming up, this time on 4. So we come down, straightening the back legs, squaring up the hips. And lifting up, this time for 5. Welcome the wobble. That's it, leaning back into the stick. Straighten your back leg. Breathe. And coming back up. This time for 6. And we come down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So can you bring your back leg up? Hello. So the knee sits in front of your hip. Holding the balance. Testing balance as we straighten the leg. Breathe. And then lower the leg back down. Alrighty, well done. We'll use the stick now to mobilize our shoulders, or you can do it with bands if needed. So breathing in as you go back behind, breathing out as you come forward. Aim for a good grip with your fingers on the stick or the band. And adding in a little tiptoe rise and then down. Tiptoe rise and then down. And last couple. So final one. And then can you take your feet just a bit wider with the stick over the top of your head? Let your shoulders soften, so there's a little bit of bend in your elbows, and let your bottom tuck a bit, so your tailbone drops down, a bit like a Tai Chi, they call it horse stance. I'm going to squeeze the pelvic floor and the belly button so that holds as you lean, and move to the middle. So re-squeeze the pelvic floor and belly button as you lean, and then let those muscles relax at the top. So we commit to the re-squeeze and to the middle. So again, squeeze your bottom and your pelvic floor and your belly button. Can you go a little bit further with the lean? Notice your body weight in your feet. Can you keep it even between your heel and the ball of your foot? Further on your last couple. And final one. Okay, well done. So, have we got some weights there? Have another drink if you need one. Find some weights. 2s or 3s. As in kilos, something like that. Okay, so holding the weight in your hand, I'd like you to draw your elbows back, open your hands to the side and squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. And let's do that again. So press your hands as back as far as they'll go and get that squeeze feeling in your shoulders. And do it again. So it's all about how much effort you put into that squeeze in your shoulders, squeeze your armpit. And release. Now, once you've got that squeeze happening, we're going to add a rise on the tiptoes again and then extend the arms. That's it. Elbows coming in and lower. Let's do it again. So squeeze, extend, coming back in. Now for more advanced, if you want to, add some twists. So you're going to hold the extension out. We're kind of prolonging the agony, if you like. Keep the arms out there. Look towards your back hand to test your balance. And can you do the same the other way? So you're going to turn the opposite way and then move to the middle and come back down. Let's do it again. Reach the arms. Turn. Breathe. Back the other way. So choose your level. I'm going to do that one twice more. Ease off if you need to. You go a little bit further on your twist. Lengthening up through the posture, through the crown of the head. And last one. Give your arms a shake if you're done. Alrighty, resting off. Well done. Excuse me. Okay, so grab another drink. Some more work for our core. So if you'd like to join me down on the mat, onto our backs. Okay. So walking your feet as close to your bottom as you can, with your fingertips here in the curve of your back now. Double leg lift. We're going to pull the belly button in, so we're putting a little bit of pressure into our hands, and we're going to point our toes as we bring our knees up, and then with control on the way down. Pressing the shoulders back. Let's do it again. Breathe out as you lift, and breathe in as you lower. And let's do that again, taking your feet slightly further away. The next level. For more advanced, we move towards straightening the legs. Make sure you can keep that little bit of imprint on your hands. Usually I find when I get to the edge of my core comfort zone, oh, there we go, I start to get the shakes a little bit. So just working around that point will help build up strength over time. Pressing back through your shoulders. Can you do two more? And final one. When you're done, if you can let your legs come down to the ground, point your toes, if you can interlace your fingers like this for me, and turn your palms away over the top of your head, straightening your arms, little finger side, tapping on the floor. Think of your upper arm coming towards your ear. So you're really straightening through your arms, arching your back and breathing out into your belly, eyes closed. And just using this as a little breathing space for yourself today. And one more deep breath. Alrighty, so from here we're going to roll onto our front. And we're going to do a cobra. So if you can take your hands just slightly wider than your shoulders, I want you to squeeze your buttock muscles to give your back support. Pull your belly button muscle in to give your back support as you lift and as you lower. So we want those two technique points happening. Belly button in from the front, squeeze the bottom on the lift, the cobra, and chin up towards the ceiling. So at the moment we're using our arms to apply pressure to get some mobility into the upper back. Pepper's on the prowl again. And then for slight variation today, we're going to go into a sort of human dart position like this. So we're going to bring the hands hovered here by the side, and the little finger edge is pointing up to the ceiling as we squeeze like a no-armed cobra. 2, 3, and then release. So we're going to do one of each, placing the hands down. We breathe in, come up into our cobra, pushing the ground away, and then back down. And then we're going to slide the hands to the side, hover the arms and lift more with the back muscles, squeezing the glutes and back down. So pushing the ground away, breathing in as we lift, so really mobilizing the joints of the spine, but then using the second version to strengthen the muscles. Can we do one more of each? Pushing the ground away to mobilize the joints. And then taking the arms away to work on the strength in the back. Alrighty, so from here we're going to come back into our downward dog. So if you can meet me up here again. Wriggling the feet back, pressing the heels down, lifting the tailbone up. Breathe. Alrighty, and then again, we're going to do that little bend with the knees. So the knees come just above the ground, and we're going to flex into our toes to give the toes a really good stretch underneath. And then shifting to our downward dog again. Lifting the tailbone, pressing down through the heels. Breathe. Okay, let's take a walk with our hands towards our feet. We're going to soften the knees and allow the upper body just to really flop, hang loose, giving into gravity, a bit ragdoll-like. Let go of your neck, your head, your shoulders, and just have a look at the world from a different view. Alrighty, unfolding. Let's come up to standing. Now's a good time if you would like to get another drink. So let's get topped up on the water. Okay, great. So next up, we're going to do some squats. So we'll think about technique of squats. If you want to work more on strength in your upper body, grab some weights. If you want to work more on your posture, then I'd like you to do it with your stick here along your back. If you're using your weights, posture's pretty good now, then we're going to hold the weights here. So I'd like you to sink down, holding for 3, thinking about the position of your knees. Can you push your knee towards your smaller toe side and then back up? So do it again. As you come down as well, you'll get more pressure on the knees if your knees are forward like this. Try and pull your body weight back so your knee sits behind your toes. If you glance down when you squat, you should be able to see your toes actually really clearly. Well, depending on if you've got your glasses on or not. Level 2, we're going to extend out and then come back in. So we extend out and come back in. For third level today, we're going to extend out, stay with a hold, lift, come back to the extension and release. So again, extending out, arms by the ears, into position and release. So you choose your level. I'd like you to do 3 more. Breathe. And last couple. Hold on to your core, so you're pulling your belly button in. Safe practice for lifting technique. So, one more time. And resting off, and give your legs a shake. Can you find a stick for me? And let's give our quads a stretch. So, holding on to the foot, knuckles and lower back together. Your heel towards your bottom. And for those of you who want to test balance, see if you can lean forwards, keeping your heel on your bottom. And then for more advanced, we go more height in that back leg. Alrighty, can we give that a go on the other side? Welcome the wobble on those. So knees together, heel close in. Push your hip bones forwards. That can make a real difference to feeling of the stretch. So push the hips forwards. And then for those of you who would like to, Give the balance a go. We're going to lean heel to the bottom. We lift up through the leg. Breathe. Alrighty, let's release off and give your legs a good shake out there. Alrighty, back to some more core work. So this time we're going to do some rolling like a ball, quite nice on ironing out tension in our lower back. We'll do a few different levels. One's quite fun. He will wobble. Okay, so first level, tuck the knees, tap them down, tuck and tap like that. All right, so if you want to, you can roll like a ball, hover the feet, so we roll. The feet are hovered off the ground at the top. For third level today, it's quite an advanced move. We're going to go legs akimbo, roll, rebalance at the top, and then back in. So we extend, roll, balance with the legs off the floor, and then come back in. Your own variation on the theme of this is absolutely fine. Enjoy it, have fun. Not often we get a chance to roll around the floor as adults, so make the most of it. And two more. Final one. Alrighty, can you come and lay down onto one elbow with your knees bent and your feet? Make a fist on the bottom hand. And I want you to line your elbow up. So have a look in your screen. Try and get your elbow directly under your shoulder. That's it. And then lock the shoulder down. So it feels like you're pressing it down and squeezing the fist as you lift your hips. And then lower. So again, hips up, head back. Great. Level one, level two. Knees are further down, but still a little bit of bend. Bring the knees a bit further back. And we're going to add in a lift with the arm, a big sweep over the top, and come back down. For third level, notice I've gone into straight legs and the top foot is just over the top to steady the balance. Big sweep with the arm, squeezing the fist and pressing the shoulder down into position as we load the shoulder. It can be quite intense in the shoulder if you're not used to doing these. So go with what feels safe and appropriate today. Just going to do the last couple, ease if you need to. Final one. And let's release off. Okay, well done. So on the other side. So first level, we line the elbow directly under the shoulder, knees forward, and we lift, hold, 2, 3, and down. Try to align your upper posture so your head is back, 2, 3, and then down. The second level, bring the knees back, slightly straighter leg, sweeping with the arm back by the ear. And follow the hand with the eyes. And then third level, straight leg, top foot over to steady the balance. Breathe. Make the fist. As you come up, aim to stack the hips one above the other. You'll really engage the muscles at the side of the body. Great for our toning in our waistline, but more importantly, great for strength in the lower side of the back. And last one. Breathe. Let's release and come down onto our backs. Moving into a glute stretch. So we're going to bring our right leg over our left, park the hands at the back of the thigh and use the hands to pull in. So notice how are the glutes feeling today. Use the elbow to push out. Get a good old stretch in there. Often glutes can be quite stiff and tight when our lower back is niggling. Let's give that a go on the other side. Try and get your ankle bone on the thigh there. Use your hands to pull in, use the elbow to push out. And notice how this glute is feeling in comparison to the other one. You sort of notice where the tightest spots are. Breathe. Sometimes we don't notice where the tight spots are until we start having a stretch around. So some more core. We're going to pop the hands just here around the back of the head. Now, can you keep one elbow on the floor as the other elbow crosses to the knee? Breathing out as we cross and in as we come down. Upping the pace to level 2. So as one comes up, the other comes down like this. Third level, we're going to straighten out through our legs. Pointy toes. Inhaling for 2. Exhaling for 2. 2 more breaths. Alrighty, well done. Bring your knees to your chest. Give your knees a little cuddle there. We're going to roll up. Let's do some stamina work for the legs. So yoga warrior pose coming up. If you can, take your feet wide for me. Turn your toes out over here and angle in over here at 45 degrees. We're going to bend into the knee. I'll make sure the feet are wide enough that as you bend, you've got a right angle here, corner of a square, and we're going to go long with the arms. We're going to sink down. Can you get this thigh parallel to the floor or working towards that over the weeks? Relax your shoulders, eye gazing off down the middle finger in a warrior-like fashion. Breathe. So use this pose to kind of power up, if you like. What part of your life do you need a bit of warrior energy? Release. And we're going to switch over to the other side. So turning out the toes, pushing out the heel on the back foot. Have a look in your screen again. How's that corner of a square looking on that leg? Eye gaze looking down the middle finger. Again, powering up that warrior energy. Where do you need to draw that into your life? Let's release. Turn out again on the other side, angling in at 45 degrees here, and we're going to switch over to a triangle pose, opening the muscles down the inner thigh and the side of the body. You turn your eye gaze up to look at your top hand. Breathe. Bending into this knee now. I'm going to bring one hand down behind the foot, keeping lengthened with the top arm. And then can you bring this arm by your ear? Fingers straightening the arm. And bringing the hand down the other side of the foot, turning onto tiptoe on your back foot, straightening the leg at the back. Eye gaze looking ahead, hands flattening. Breathe. Your hip bones sink down. And then can you take a walk with your hands in towards the middle of your feet, turning your toes forward. Now you might go a bit wider. You might be stretching enough as you are. Find what feels safe and appropriate today. Pushing your body weight back to your heels just a little bit. Think how that shifts the stretch. Breathe. And then walking your feet inwards, bending the knees, and let's uncurl to standing and turning out again over on this side with the foot, angling in at 45 degrees as we shift into our triangle pose. Breathe. Let's bring this arm over, eye gaze looking up to test the balance. Let's bend into the knee, hand outside of the foot, bringing the arm over by the ear. Bringing both hands down to the floor, turning the back foot. So you're on your toes at the back, trying to flex into your toes to give them a bit of stretch. I know on one side I have a big toe that feels a bit stiff, so good to get that stretch on that back foot there. Alrighty, and then we're going to take our walk again towards the middle, and again, if you want to go wider with your feet, if that feels appropriate for you, then find your point of stretch with it, walking your hands in towards the middle of your feet. Alrighty, and then we're going to walk our feet back in and find some water. Alrighty, so we're nearly there. Have we got a foam roller? If you can grab your roller, you might want to use some weights. We're going to do surrender arms. Great for opening our pec muscles. Okay, so if you can wriggle your bottom down, make sure your head is on there. Now, if you're using weights, you want to place them in the hand. If it's too much for the weights, you can always ditch them. Want the elbow just above the shoulder line and the hand just slightly wider like that than the elbow. So hands slightly wider than the elbow and the elbow just above the shoulder. Just giving into gravity with your hand and the weights, closing your eyes. Drawing the chin in and just lengthening the back of the neck as you tuck your chin in, 2, 3, and then release. And let's do that again. So chin in, 2, 3, and then release. Do that again, chin in, push down through the back of the head to lengthen the muscles there. And can you do that twice more? Just notice where that feeling of stretch comes when you do that. And final one. Okay, let's release the weights, bring the arms down by your side, just keeping your eyes closed. Relax on top of the roller. And just noticing those little sort of pressure points where the roll meets the points along the spine. Just taking a moment to appreciate the exercise that you've taken part in today and shown up and got done, and thinking about how doing that influences the bigger picture of range of movements in your joints, and your mobility and flexibility and strength and stamina throughout your day. And the knock-on effect of that is to keep us independent, keeps our energy up, just to energize our mental state. contemplating how those little decisions help to influence the people around us. A bigger picture of health and well-being. Right, to take a deep breath in, let your belly fill up with air. And a long exhale. Keep blowing out till you can't blow out anymore. Opening your eyes, let your breathing settle, and if you can roll sideways off your roll. So I hope that's made a difference to your energy today. If you'd like to just hit your unmute, we'll have a little check-in, stop and share of the sound. How are we feeling?